All right, episode 151, Christian Michael and Batman. That's right, we have the armored Batman from Batman The Dark Knight Returns. You probably heard me say this before, and in case you haven't, I'll say it again. If you are a fan of Batman and you have not seen the animated movie The Dark Knight Returns, then you are, in fact, not a fan of Batman. And people are going to argue, oh, you got to read the book. If you're. No, I just don't like to read, I like to watch things. It's just the way I've always been. It's not that I can't read or don't enjoy reading. It's just more satisfying to me when I can just sit down for an hour and a half, 2 hours and watch something as opposed to just taking days upon days to get to the same conclusion. So, The Dark Knight Returns. Do yourself a favor. If you haven't seen it, go buy the deluxe edition on Blu-ray because it's a two-part movie, part one and part two. And in the deluxe edition, they just seamlessly morphed the two movies into one movie. So part one just flows right into part two instead of having to get up and change a disc. Right? It runs about 2.5 hours. So if you're used to watching these long comic book epics, this will be no different for you. You will see a lot of stuff from Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice that came from The Dark Knight Returns, like the armored Batman. That's where it initially came from. So there were a lot of homages, I guess you could say. I don't know if they used it as source material or not, but it would seem that way since a lot of the ideas that played out in that movie I already knew about, or they weren't new to me, I should say, because I saw Dark Knight Returns. So we have Armored Batman here. Basically, the idea behind Armored Batman is so he could fight Superman, right? Because Superman is a bitch. Now I know he's not a bitch, but he's an alien, and he's a super alien, and Batman doesn't have any superpowers. So how the hell is he supposed to fight Superman? And if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm looking for a box cutter. And a good thing I found it because it was inside the couch, and my wife would have sat down and got a razor blade in her butt, and then I would have got a beating. So now, don't anybody call anybody. I don't really get beat. It's just a joke. I'm sure your wife wouldn't be happy if she sat on a razor blade either. So there you go. Check out the back. The other people in this multiverse set. You got Superman Doomed, the mutant leader, which is also from Batman Dark Knight Returns. This is the TV version of Supergirl. Lex Luthor, after he got locked up in Dawn of Justice. This is Carrie Kelly, who was the person portraying Robin in The Dark Knight Returns and Batman. This is to build, and this is to build a figure set with the new 52 Doomsday. And what the hell? Jesus. This thing is better protected than the president. And if you are trying to build Doomsday, you will get his head and his balls. So, two very important pieces to any man: his head and his balls. So, there you go. And let me get him out here. You can see the gun he comes with. Looks very familiar if you saw Dawn of Justice. Batfleck used a very similar weapon in Batman vs Superman. So I guess he can only hold it in this hand because this hand is completely closed up. Like nothing you can do with that there. So, and I guess he's gonna go for the side. He's gonna go for the sideways kill. This might be the only way that you can get. Yeah, there you go. Now he's straight shooting Batman. This one has a little bit more color than the Armored Batman from Dawn of Justice. If you go back on this channel, I reviewed them way back when. Probably when I was picking up all the action figures for Dawn of Justice, so March or April sometime. So there you can see there he's got his yellow utility belt going on there and blue cape. There he is. He's very angry. This is an older Batman, and he's very disgruntled and angry, like many people get when they get older. So he's growling because he just does that. Right there, you can see his boots. These are not made for a walk-in. They're made for stopping Superman. So you can see there's almost like cleats on the bottom. Even, you know, all the detail. It's all great, but you can see the detail they put into the costume here. Is armor, both sides there. Articulation, I don't know. I don't really know. He doesn't really move anywhere in the waist or chest region because it's all kind of like just there because of the armor. But his head does rotate all the way around, so you can have Exorcist Batman also. Legs, they do very limited kicking because it's a very bulky figure. He's got the ankle pivot. I guess you could rotate that there if you want to, but I'm not going to because that's generally how we break things. Arms rotate. He does have a little pivot there at the wrist, so not too much articulation as you can, and he does bend. You know, not too much articulation because it's such a bulky figure. Like I said, I'm a big fan of this movie. That's why I got this figure. I thought it would go good with the Dark Knight, not the Dark Knight, the Dawn of Justice armored Batman that I have that doesn't stand on his own. But as you can see, this guy does stand on his own, so that's pretty cool. And I would say that probably one of my favorite figures, just out of any genre, is my Dark Knight Returns Fat Man, I call him, because you can see he's much bulkier than, and this is just not because of the armor he's wearing, it's just that was the way that Batman was portrayed. He was portrayed as much bulkier than other versions of Batman that you may have seen out there, so that's why I call him Fat Man. But that, I guess you call him regular Batman, is definitely one of my favorite action figures that I have out of any genre. So there you go, armored Batman. Pick him up if you want to. He's not anything special, but if you're a big fan of the movie like I was, and you have the Fat Man figure and you have the other armored Batman from the movie, Dawn of Justice, maybe you just want to pick him up to kind of like, you know, chain it all together, I guess you could say. But, you know, like you see, he's very plain. He does have a little yellow and some blue in there, unlike the Dawn of Justice one, which is just straight up gray. It's like walking through the halls of MetLife Stadium when there's no football game going on. It's just very gray. Anyway, that's been episode 151, and please rate, comment, share, and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter if you want to. A lot of people have been unfollowing me. I'm pretty sure you can figure out why. We just had a major event happen here in America about a month ago, so people are very upset over that, and if you don't agree with what they believe, they just don't want to listen to you anymore. They just call you stupid and unfollow you. So, I mean, it's been happening. So, you know, it is what it is. So, please rate, comment, share, subscribe. If you do want to follow me on Twitter, just to unfollow me when I tweet something political, which I don't do very often, maybe once or twice a week, depending on the news. It is at Christian_973. Did I say rate, comment, share, and subscribe? If I didn't, I just did there. And, yeah, it's almost time to go. And it's time to go in this video. So we'll see you in the next episode.